Welcome to the Mom Founders Table. Pull up a chair and join me every week as I become your thought partner and help you lead to create change. I'm your host, Kelsey Kenry, entrepreneur, millionaire mom of three, and strategic business coach for established mom entrepreneurs. Every week, you will get tactical guidance to apply to your business, leadership, and life that will help you further your true success while also being invited into a new way of thinking and being that creates true freedom. I'm here to call you out and call you up, so take a seat and let's begin. Welcome back to another episode of the Mom Founders Table. And I want to share a story with you that is from a client conversation that I had the other day. She messaged me and actually was very heightened and very upset because she was sitting at this play space, jump space with her kids. And she was so mad at herself because she had brought her laptop with her and was working while her kids were playing. And she decided that day, she messaged me, she's like, I don't want to be the mom that every time I take my kids to play somewhere, I'm on my laptop. And it was that moment where she realized that this lifestyle that she had created, this business that she had created, was actually not in alignment with what she wanted for her life. And it really got me thinking about how, especially in the last few years, as we've seen entrepreneurship with women grow so much, how we have adapted and we've created this overlap and this integration into our lives, which has been so beautiful, right? Because it's allowed us to have purpose that is outside of our homes, purpose and impact that we feel called to, that we're using our passions for. And also it's creating an enormous amount of guilt and anxiety and overwhelm. And so she was sitting at this play place. She's on her laptop and she messaged me and she was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And every single one of us has had that moment in our business where we're just like, I am missing out on my life and on moments that feel important to me because of the work that I've chosen. And what I will tell you is there's no scenario, business model, business structure in which you won't have to miss some things. But I think what we know as mothers, as leaders, as people who, like my clients, know that there's more to life than just business. And this is the moment. It's situations like this that you realize that your business is actually running you. And that's a hard pill to swallow for most people. And a lot of people hold themselves back from making any sort of change because they have normalized this. And honestly, society has normalized this. We have girl bossed our way into standardizing overwhelm and anxiety and constantly being on and available, because even if your calendar doesn't reflect that you're working that many hours, what I have found is even for my founders that I work with, that their calendar doesn't look overwhelming, their brains are, because that constant availability, that need to be always on, that feeling, 24/7 feeling, is something that we have adapted to and something that we've normalized. So every single one of us has felt that. We felt like I created something and now I feel stuck in it. And so really, that moment of recognition that you've had, it's about what are you going to do with it, right? What are you going to do now that you have this awareness of, I've built something successful. I've built something that's providing for my family. I've built something that is successful on paper, that is making money, that is providing this life. And I don't want to do it like this anymore. Like that is the moment that most people stay stuck in because they're like, well, this is just the way that it is. And if there's anything that I could tell you, it's that acceptance of this in any area of your life. Like this is mediocrity. This is shrinking your standards. This is not something that I'm going to allow you to do and something that I will forever stand for. The simple fact is that if you are currently in any sort of situation that you do not like, that does not feel good, that is taking away from your quality of life, that is deteriorating your relationships, your health, your mental, physical well-being, it's not for you. Something has to change. And so where we get stuck is like, how do I make that change? Like, what does that actually look like? And so then we spin because we're like, okay, we tell ourselves this story of once I get here, then I'll be able to pull back here. Or once I hire this person, that will alleviate this. Or once I hit this revenue milestone, then I'll be able to scale back here. Or things will settle down. Or this is a busy season. Or I don't want to miss this opportunity. Like all of these different stories that we tell ourselves that essentially keep us stuck in the same place. And so every single time I'm stepping into changing this for any of my clients, we have to recognize that the business that you have built, regardless of your team size, regardless of your revenue, if you feel like this, you have built a business that is completely owner dependent, and you are an employee and an operator inside your business instead of the CEO. And it may, you may, have some resistance around that, but that's just the truth of the matter. And the sooner that you accept it, the sooner that we can move forward from it. So, and there's certain ways once you have this recognition of, okay, I've built a business that has me chained to it. I don't like it and I don't want to feel like this and I don't want to run my business like this anymore. I'm not sure how to change it. And I recognize that it is this way because every bit of growth is dependent on me specifically, right? So that's our awareness piece. Then we go into, okay, so what are all the ways that you've probably tried to fix this already, right? Number one is you've tried to hire people, right? And you've probably tried to hire people across different parts of the business. You've probably hired somebody, a leadership team, a COO, an OBM, a project manager, a combination of these things that you're like, okay, if I could just have somebody that like handles operational things, then I don't have to think about those things anymore. And that will lower my mental load as well as my workload, right? You've probably tried to hire somebody in marketing, right? One of the biggest pain points for business owners is marketing. You've probably tried to hire somebody like a coach, an advisor, been in masterminds, and you just can't seem to find like, why is it not clicking, right? All of these different things that I'm doing that everybody's telling me to do, why is it not actually getting me the result that I want, right? So you've tried getting better at time management. You've tried to read books, like 10x is easier than 2x. You're not an idiot, right? Like that's the thing about my clients is they're brilliant women who fully understand and are fully aware of the situation they're in. And they also know that if they take their foot off the gas because of the way they've built the business, things will crumble. But you don't have the person in your corner who is telling you how to actually redesign your infrastructure and change the way that you are operating so that you don't have a business that's completely dependent on your 24/7 availability. So here's some questions to think about, right? If this is resonating with you and you're like, okay, I have been the person that's taken the vacation with the laptop that I promised that I was only going to open for 20 minutes and it ended up being 2 hours or the whole time I was there. I have been the person who, even if I was physically present with my kids, I was not mentally present because my checklist was running in my head, the team issue, the fire that I needed to put out. if you have been in this position, you have to recognize that you have more control here than you're giving yourself credit for. So, first of all, do you have team members that are constantly coming to you for everything? Right? Because if they're constantly coming to you for everything, you haven't given ownership to people. That means we're lacking clarity. That means, is there a skill set gap in that team member? Is there a clarity gap? Is there an accountability gap? Have we not given them clear expectations? Like, what is underneath that is causing that? That's what we have to solve. Have you set up your business to where like your clients are only communicating with you? Right? Like, are you afraid of what will happen if you are not the center point for everything? Are you afraid that if you don't have your hands in everything, that everything will fall apart? Are there things in your business, certain processes, the way that you do things that literally live in your head? I see this with a lot of clients that are spending a lot of time reviewing things from their team. So they have team members, different areas of the business, but like everything still comes back to them for them to approve or review. And my question is like, okay, so when you're reviewing, what are the things that you're changing? Are we utilizing that time to teach and coach, or are we simply making the changes and then handing it back? Because then that's a behavioral issue. That's a habit that you're creating of the dynamic between you and your team is that they do their work and then you redo the work and then the work is done. Versus an infrastructure that is scalable and an infrastructure that lowers your mental load is when you hand something off, it's fully handed off and it doesn't have to come back to you. Right. And that may happen in phases, but this is always where I'm trying to get my clients to. So if you have team members who are constantly coming to you, if every single one of your clients is only coming to you, or every single one of your clients is coming to your team member that then's coming to you, if you are spending a lot of time in your processes that you haven't clearly laid out for other people, if you are looking at your calendar and you're like, I keep clearing space, but then it keeps filling up. Like, these are issues that keep arising that you're like, okay, after this, then I can. And it never gives you the space or the time to actually peel back these things and say, okay, how do I fix what is underneath here? How do I fix the cause of why this keeps happening? And it's because it's an infrastructure problem. It's because within your people, you may have, I don't care if you have 2 team members or 200 team members, you do not have team members that have ownership. You do not have team members that know how to effectively do their jobs. You do not have, you're probably not clearly delegating. You probably, if you have KPIs in place, you're probably not holding them accountable. So there's lots of other layers that we have to figure out, like, why is your team not taking workload off your plate, right? Why do you have a team and it feels like you're still doing so much? And then in your processes, right? There are so many things that people do, my founders, that are so clunky that I'm like, why are you doing that thing just because you've always done it? That's not a reason. Like, how do we systematize? How do we automate? How do we get that process, that strategy out of your head, your way of thinking, and start to coach people on how to own that? So within your processes and the way that you're doing things, when you're so busy, you're just going to naturally repeat things because that's the way you've always done it. Right? Because it's that mindset of, it's just quicker if I fix it. This only takes me 2 minutes. This only takes me 5 minutes. But yeah, that adds up, right? So your processes and how things are operating behind the scenes, not only what you are doing, but how your team is doing things. So even when I'm looking at my clients' operations and I'm like, okay, that like onboarding process, why is it 10 steps? And why are there so many touch points that require, like, why don't we automate some of this and keep the human touch? So it's a better, faster, more seamless experience for your client. And also your team members don't have 10 tasks aligned with it. Right. So in your pricing, right, is a huge part of this because most of you are over giving. Most of you are people pleasers. You're afraid of raising your prices. You're afraid of charging more. You're afraid of what will happen if you charge more. And so when we look at not just your pricing, but the actual offers that you have, your offer suite and your onboarding, your client journey, your delivery processes, what is going on here? Is it requiring too much team time? Is it requiring too much labor? Is it draining your staff? Do we have the right people that are in delivery? So we have to peel back the layers. And like, that's the thing here is that if I'm being honest with you, you're never going to take the time to peel back the layers until somebody forces you to. And like, that's what my clients say is like coming into working with me, everybody starts with my full assessment. And it's just like, wow, this is really making me think about all these areas that I have been avoiding or not paying attention to. And the clarity that comes from just filling out my assessment for people is life-changing. Because I want you to look at those things that you've been avoiding, because if we look at the things that you've been avoiding, we find out what's really going on in your infrastructure and then we can fix it. So one of my clients, she was in a professional services, like client facing industry. And she had a team of 8 and she was buried. She was doing multi-millions, actually. She was buried in her business. And the way that she was delivering the services that she had offered, she had team members that were in the delivery process with her, but those team members actually didn't have full ownership, and she was handing things off and they were doing the work, but then everything was coming back to her. So really nothing could actually move without her moving it, without her either initiating or her finalizing. And so we took both of those pieces out. We took the initiation out by changing the structure of the delivery, and then we took the review part out by actually systematizing her review process. And this like blew her mind because she's like, I thought that like only I could do this, right? Which is the other lie that we tell ourselves. We try to hand things off and we're like, well, only I can do that part. Only I can do that part. So because of this, not only did she continue to scale her revenue, but she cut her work hours to like a third, which allowed her to even start and run a nonprofit that she was really passionate about. So I just want you to sit with this as somebody who is running a business, as somebody who knows that you are the current bottleneck of your situation. And I want you to recognize that your infrastructure and needing to redesign your infrastructure is not this heavy workload that is going to be overwhelming you. It actually is the thing that offers relief. It's actually the thing that gets your life back. And this is what my mastermind was built for. So if you have not heard about the Mom Founders Mastermind, we are actively enrolling members. And one of the members that just joined this week, when she came to me, she was like, I want my life back, right? Like, she is running this very successful business. She has a team in place. She's hired all the people. She's like, no matter who I hire, like, I feel like I'm just still working the same amount of hours. And so we are going deep into her business, and inside the mastermind, everybody gets to go through my assessment, my analysis, and then every single quarter we're doing a private business review as well. So you're getting private advisory inside the mastermind. So not only do you get the mastermind calls and the advisory calls, but you're getting this personal thread throughout the whole thing so that you have clear guidance on what your priorities need to be, how your infrastructure needs to change, what exactly you need to be doing. Because a lot of times we are so stubborn in realizing that we just need somebody to tell us what to do and how to do it. And even at the highest of high level, I don't care if you have a $1 million business, a $10 million business, like, we all need this. So if you are running an established service-based business, if you have a team in place, if you've been in business for at least a few years, I want you to check out the Mom Founders Table Mastermind. The link is in the show notes below. It'll give you all the details, and just understand that if you really do want your life back, if you're tired of feeling guilty and what you want is to run a business that provides the financial freedom and flexibility and wealth and lifestyle for your family without it taking so much from you, this is what we are building inside for you. So thank you for listening, and I will see you guys next week.